Hey, welcome to D20 Woodworking, and today we are doing a preview video for Storm, the new hero pack announced for Marvel Champions, the card game. Now we're going to go over Storm pretty quick. I'm just going to kind of go through the cards that I see and talk a little bit about them, and then kind of get my overall thoughts because I feel like I'm seeing a pattern in this game, and we're going to get into that. So let's dive right into this. So this is the announcement page. I'm not going to read through all this. You all can. It's pretty interesting. But let's jump into our cards and let's start with our alter ego, where she begins with a weather deck, right? And this is gonna be the main idea of Storm and how she works. The weather deck is sweet, right? Just spoiler alert, it's sweet. I'm a huge fan of it. So her setup allows you to choose a support from the weather deck and put it into play. Pretty cool, fine, whatever. So also I should say she has a 6 hand size, 10 hit points, and 3 recovery. 3 recovery a little bit on the lower side, but that's all right. So Storm is a 1/2/1 hero with 5 hand size, 10 hit points, and her action is to swap your weather support in play with a support of your choice from the weather deck. Resolve the special ability on your weather support in play. Again, it's an action, which is pretty cool because that can get called on in multiplayer. Limit once per round. Already, once we get into the weather cards, it'll make a bit more sense, but she feels like a better Spectrum already, right? Spectrum with her 3 phase cards that were face down. It always felt like I was in the wrong phase, like I needed to be in a different form and or energy form. I needed to be in a different one, and I always felt like I was in the wrong one because it was tough to get them to switch sometimes unless you had the right cards in hand. Storm can just do it, right? It's a better system overall. And that kind of makes her really exciting with this. So that's one of the first things I noticed that I think is really, really cool with her. So when we get into the weather cards, the first one is Clear Skies. The support's a permanent. Each character gains Stalwart. It's special to draw 1 card. Fair enough. Hurricane is a permanent. Each character gains Retaliate 1, and specials remove 2 threat from a scheme. Thunderstorm, permanent. Each character gains 1 attack. The special is deal 2 damage to an enemy. And then finally, Blizzard. Each character, it's a permanent. Each character gets -1. Choose a non-elite minion. Until the end of the round, treat that minion's text box as if it were blank, except for traits. What's awesome about this is that it's each character, not your hero, not your allies, not your other people that play with you. Each character. So that means it includes the villains. And this is to me what makes this the most interesting because you're now going to have to plan out your turn not just for your phase, but also the villain's phase, right? So if the villain's going to attack, maybe it works out that they get -1 attack for this, right? Now, if they're going to attack, maybe this isn't the best card to have out there during their attack phase, right? A lot of times in this game, we get hung up on just thinking about our phase and not so much the villain phase. Like we'll pay attention that they have to attack or thwart or whatever, but we don't think about exactly what that's going to mean for us all the time. With Storm, we're going to have to plan out a little further in advance, and I think that's so cool. I'm really excited about this deck because I think this adds another layer to the game that I'm really excited to see. So we dive into our event cards, and the first one is Weather Goddess. It's a 0-cost event. Swap your weather support and play with a support of your choice from the weather deck. Resolve the special ability. It's a generic switch card, right? Which is pretty good. You can resolve the special ability and all that fun stuff. That's cool. It's fine. We get into our upgrades. Storm's Crown is a good card. Storm gets +1 thwart. Exhaust the crown. Generate the printed resource on your weather support. Right. So right away we have a card that's a resource generator essentially. What it generates is kind of up to you depending on what weather cards imply. But I love this. I love that she already has it and it gives her +1 thwart. That's pretty cool. Her cape gives her +1 defense and gains her aerial traits, a 3-cost upgrade. After resolve the special ability on your weather card, exhaust this cape and you can ready up Storm, which is pretty cool, right? Now we have to worry about timing and everything like that. That's pretty cool. I'm already a fan of this card, and the ability to ready up your heroes is always huge. These are going to be the interesting ones of how you play Storm. So Torrential Rain is a 2-cost event. It's a superpower card, right? And to remember that superpower. So hero action, remove 3 threat from among schemes in play. If Hurricane is in play, resolve its special ability. So we're going to see events like this. I believe the next one's like this too, right? 1-cost flash freeze, also superpower. When the villain attacks you, the villain each minion engaged with you gets -3 attack. -3 attack while attacking you this phase, and then if Blizzard's in play, resolve its special ability. So we only saw these two for the different weathers out there, right? For Blizzard and Hurricane. So we don't know if there's one for Thunderstorm yet. I'm going to guess that there is, and maybe not Clear Skies. But it's really cool that if you have a certain support out, you can have a matching event with it to make it even better, right? And it's probably the most optimal way to play. I really like this system. I like the idea of, again, having to think your turn really far through of when am I going to switch to the next phase, or next weather card, right? When does it make sense? What does it pair well with? What does it work with? Now, how does it affect the villain as well? This is awesome, right? This is really cool how they're doing this, and it makes me really excited for it because, again, anytime I have to think more turns out than just like what I'm immediately doing, I'm 100% for it. So I think this looks really cool. She has another 3-cost event. This is her big card, or a big card. Choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain. Each minion engaged with that player, resolve the special ability of your weather support. So it could be whatever weather support you have in. That's one's going to resolve, which is pretty cool. So then we're going to get into her event cards her leadership cards. And this one's pretty interesting to me, my X-Men. It's like, to me, a slightly better version of Sneak Attack. You can only play if it's X-Men, and you have a hero action for the 1-cost event. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for an X-Men ally, put it into play. If the ally is still in play at the end of your phase, add it to your hand. So it kind of negates the cost, assuming your allies in that top 5, right? But it's basically Sneak Attack, but just like a bit better in my opinion. Now, again, it's not just being played from your hand, so there's a chance that you swing and you miss with this one, but hopefully you don't, right? But I like this. I like this card a lot. I think this would be a much better version than Sneak Attack. I think it's a more balanced version, right? Compared to like the Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings and Marvel Champions Sneak Attacks, one was very good, one was not very good. This one to me is like a good middle point, so I'm pretty excited for this card. Mirage seems really strong. Again, I'm happy that they're making stun a thing for things outside of aggression aspect, right? That other aspects are gonna be able to start stunning and confusing, I think is huge, and I'm really excited for it. Pixie is I guess I should say too. Mirage is a 3-cost ally, 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 life. But her big thing is after Mirage enters play, choose an enemy whose scheme is less than Mirage's thwart, stun that enemy. So obviously it's not for like big bad enemies. Then we have Pixie, who's a 2-cost, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 life. After you play Pixie from your hand, add an X-Men ally from your discard pile to your hand. Kind of negating the cost, right? Or not negating the cost, but pulling like an Ironheart, right? That you're not drawing, but you're adding a card from your discard pile to your hand, which is kind of huge because you can pick the card, right? Well, you can pick the card as far as the ally, but still you can pick the ally card, right? And I think there's a big benefit to that. I like seeing. Leadership skill is a fine card. It's 1-cost upgrade. Use 3 counters, max 1 per player. When an ally makes a basic thwart or attack, remove 1 counter and they get +1/+1. It's not the right card. Uncanny X-Men, 3-cost support. Excuse me. Each of your X-Men allies get +1 hit point for each of your characters. If each of your characters has the X-Men trait, each of your X-Men allies cost 1 fewer to play. That's fine. Forge looks interesting. After Forge enters play, is a 2-cost, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 life. Search your deck and discard pile for an X-Men or X-Force support and add it to your hand. Pretty awesome. Again, it's like another play on Ironheart, right? That you can get another card. The X-Jet is like the Queen Carrier, but the resource is exhaust the X-Jet, generate a resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait, right? So Queen Carrier, if I remember correctly, can only be used for you. X-Jet can be used for anyone at the table. Pretty dope, pretty cool. And then finally, Shadow King. Shadow King is a 3 scheme, 3 attack elite psionic minion. So Shadow King has 6 life. While a controlled minion is in play, the Shadow King cannot take damage. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Possessed Attachment and reveal it. Possessed. Treat attached ally as a controlled minion with a blank text box. Attached minion scheme is equal to its printed thwart, and it does not take consequential damage. When revealed, attached to the ally with the lowest thwart without Possessed attached. If you cannot, this card gain surge. This seems a lot like Enchantress, right? With Valkyrie. I'm getting flashbacks and it's painful, and I really don't like this card at all. All right, so I think it's been no real surprise that for a lot of people that have been following this channel, for a lot of the X-Men stuff, I haven't been super hyped about. Like some of the stuff was kind of interesting a little bit. Like I like Jean Grey's build. Wolverine I thought was interesting enough. I wasn't a big fan of Cyclops. Colossus and Kitty Pryde, they're fine. Storm, I like what they're doing here, right? I like it. I feel like this is a good hero where they're pushing the boundaries, not the boundaries, but they're pushing the character design in a different way. And I think it's pretty cool, right? I'm a big fan of this build so far of what she has going on. I like the weather deck. I like the events. I like that she also feels like a hero that's exceptionally well balanced, right? And can be used for almost anything, right? I could see her running justice, protection, leadership, aggression. Like I could see her well in all of them. And that kind of makes me really excited for Storm. What I will say though, one of my last thoughts about this, and you have to let me know down in the comments if you agree with this or if I'm just totally off base. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And I would greatly appreciate it. It seems like all the cards or all the heroes so far for X-Men are based around the X-Men working together as a team, which thematically makes a lot of sense, right? It does. It makes a ton of sense. As a solo player, I'm less excited for it as a whole. And this might be why I haven't been super hyped for any of the heroes yet. I do play a lot of solo of this game, and these heroes will obviously be able to play solo. I think most of them will do pretty fine solo, but it does seem like they want you to play as a team, right? That's the goal, is to play this game multiplayer, to play with 3 or 4 people, right? To be the X-Men as a whole, right? It feels like that's what they're kind of shooting for this. And again, I'm not necessarily against it. It just kind of stinks because as a solo player who really enjoys focusing on solo and two-handed, I don't mind, but I'd rather play this game solo. That, this cycle might not be for me as much. I'm still gonna play. I'm still gonna go through and all that fun stuff. But I think I have less hope. Phoenix was the one that I could see, going solo a bit better, and doing a bit more of. But with Storm, again, she can be done solo, absolutely, but she just feels like she's gonna be a better multiplayer hero. The first 4 that were all announced, I feel like are just strong multiplayer heroes. I don't know. That part stinks, and it gives me less hope for the next 2 heroes, whomever they are, that they're going to be mainly for solo. They're probably going to be team-based as well. And if they continue to do another cycle of X-Men or 2 cycles of X-Men or whatever they decide, is it all going to be team-based? I don't know. I'm not super hyped for that. But maybe they'll be good solo and team-based. Who really knows until it comes out. But anyway, those are my overall thoughts and opinions of this hero announcement. I'm really excited for her design. I think her design is really cool. I think it's really exciting. I think she'd be a lot of fun to play as a solo hero. I think she'd be pretty good for solo. Not great, but pretty good. As a team, I think she's gonna be fantastic. And I'm excited about the design. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this is I'm really excited about the design. I'm happy that they're doing something a bit different and a bit unique, right? It is a little bit like Spectrum, but pushing it a little bit further out, right? Pushing it a little bit further out. So yeah, so I'm super excited. So like I said, leave a comment, leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I said, let me know down below. Are you excited for this hero? Are you excited for X-Men? Does it keep getting better, or is it just at its peak already and it's just kind of plateaued at this point, or is it getting worse? Let me know down in the comments. I'm really interested to read that.